Chloe Bourgeois, and today I'll be talking about why I think my best friend Adrien Agreste is a senti-monster. Now, I've been watching a lot of Miraculous Ladybug recently.
Wait, you watch Miraculous
Yes,
Ladybug?
it's a reality show, you know? Like Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
So, let me get this straight. Miraculous Ladybug is a show that you watch?
It's like a reality show, like Keeping Up with the Kardashians. This bit is stupid.
This bit is really stupid.
Utterly
I'm sorry.
Stupid. Alright, sorry about that. I just think I am ridiculously funny, and I am utterly not. For those of you who do not watch Miraculous Ladybug, first of all, thank you for watching this video anyway. What the heck, besties? Girl power, woo woo, hashtag girl boss, you know? Alright, so we're going into this video pretty much understanding that you have a basic understanding of Miraculous Ladybug, like, you know, this bitch is this bitch, this bitch is this bitch, you know? But I'm gonna explain what a senti-monster is for you. So the senti-adrien theory basically states that Adrien Agreste is a senti-monster. Oh my god, I know, so shocking. This theory started out as a crack theory because this fandom has a lot of crack, and it is so much fun. It has a crack theory after the episode Ladybug, in which Myra, the hottest MILF on the show, creates a senti-monster of Ladybug. For those of you who don't know what a senti-monster is, I'm going to try my best to explain it. It's basically a feather, and then you concentrate really hard, and you can create whatever you want. In the episode Ladybug, it was a ladybug. This episode, they emphasize several times that this ladybug has emotions, and they emphasize senti-monster autonomy to the point where it feels suspicious. It's like, that's suspicious, well, that's weird. So some people were like, ha ha ha, what if one of the main characters is a senti-monster? Because the show doesn't have great writing, but like usually when things are mentioned more than once, you're like, okay, that's a hint. And by mentioning that the senti-monsters have autonomy more than once and can have emotions and complex feelings and wants and needs, like, by mentioning that more than once, people were like, what if one of the other characters here is a senti-monster, bestie? And so the senti-adrien theory was born. Probably helped out by the fact that Felix, which is a Ladybug and Cat Noir episode starring Adrien's cousin, aired very, very close to Ladybug. So people were like, the trailer dropped and it's literally just Adrien being evil, but it's actually Felix disguised as Adrien. But people are like, what if Adrien, they made a senti-monster of Adrien, but then the senti-adrien theory stuck, and people were like, wait a minute, bestie, what if Adrien Agreste was a senti-monster? And this is gonna sound a little bit far-fetched, because it is. And at first I was like, oh my god, I hate this theory so much. To the point where on my Tumblr, I was just like, hashtag senti-adrien, hashtag senti-adrien theory, and blocked all those from appearing, because I was like, I don't want to see this. I don't believe this. This is disgusting. This would ruin the show for me if Adrien Agreste is a senti-monster. But I am actually starting to believe it. And here's why. We're going to start with our first breadcrumb, Felix. Now, Felix and Adrien are identical. Like identical cousins. And we've not seen what Felix's dad looks like, and he's dead, so we probably never will. But this is important, and we're coming back to it later. Because we're going to start with the first ever breadcrumb. At the end of Felix steals the ring that Gabriel is wearing. And so, after he steals the ring, Adrien goes outside to give him a hug and see, like, oh, I love you, cousin, you can change, you can be a good person, I believe in you. We already know that the creators of this show aren't letting anyone be good people. They're not giving anyone second chances. I am dressed as proof. But anyways, he runs outside, and Gabriel's like, wait, come back, Adrien. His hand goes to the place where his ring is. There's no ring there. So immediately afterwards, he runs down to the basement, gets the ring off his wife's hand, and puts the ring back on. We're thinking the breadcrumb was, and keep in mind it was a crack theory at the time, but the breadcrumb was that the ring actually is where the muck is, the feather that controls the senti-monster. And the ring was there where the muck was. So he had to go down and get it so he could control Adrien, because that's one of the only times that Adrien hasn't explicitly listened to him, when he wasn't wearing the ring. And he panicked when Adrien didn't listen to him, and he put the ring on. It was a crack theory at the time, and I didn't believe it, and I was like, there's a lot of reasons. Like, he could be keeping up appearances, like, your wife dies or goes missing, you're the first suspect, so you gotta wear the wedding ring to make sure people don't think it's you, right, Gabe? Right, I see you. But people were like, no, the feathers in that ring, that's how he's controlling Adrien. And I was like, besties, what? That makes absolutely zero sense. But then, with every new episode, the senti-adrien theory grew. Starts to build, and people are very, very doubtful that Adrien Agreste is a senti-monster, right? Because it's a kids show, right? Imagine the whole time you're like, I love this guy, and then at the very last episode they're like, bitch, he was never real. You'd be like, what? I'd have them pay my therapy bills. Like, I'd be like, Thomas, you already have to pay my therapy bills for ruining Chloe's redemption arc. You have to pay my therapy bills for making Adrien a senti-monster now. People were like, wait a minute, he can't be a senti-monster. But it started to make sense. And even before Felix, I think the first time I ever saw the senti-monster Adrien theory was after Felix and Ladybug, because they aired pretty close. And after Ladybug, literally, if you went on anyone's miraculous Ladybug account, they'd be like, oh my god, what if Natalie's a senti-monster? What if Gabriel's a senti-monster? What if Adrien's a senti-monster? Oh my gosh, what if Mr. Damocles is a senti-monster? It was horrible. Like, it was a horrible time to be alive. It was ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous. Sorry, I have to add a few of those in there, you know. And the people that did believe it, because I feel like when you believe in a crack theory or ship a crap ship, you're doing it for attention, kind of. Like in 7th grade when I said I shipped President Snow and Katniss. I did it, but people thought that was very interesting and wanted to talk to me about it. And as people who said they believed this theory needed to find evidence, because everyone was like, this literally makes no sense. And evidence they did find. So in Miracular, Sabrina gets akumatized into Miracular, and her supervillain ability that she is gifted by Hawkmoth, who sends the evil butterfly out to her. Anyways, after Sabrina is akumatized into Miracular, she can steal the powers of the Miraculous holder, and she steals Cat Noir's power, Cataclysm. Right? And we've seen Cataclysm a few times. I mean, we saw it in an illusion where Cat Noir cataclysmed himself. Oh, Ladybug. I don't feel so good. I am a horrible person. Well, I guess it makes sense, huh? Guess what I'm dressed up as. Anyways, besties. So, he saw them face to dust. And then in the New York special, which granted did happen after Ladybug, so people were immediately able to jump to this. The same thing happened to the illusion when he cataclysmed Anon. She like, I don't feel so good. That's not a verb. She turned to dust. I don't feel so good. Oh my god, I've been watching too much Marvel. Anyways, besties. So people were like, that's what happens when you get cataclysmed, right? But a different thing happens when you cataclysm senti-monsters. They go like crazy. Like when Reflect Doll is akumatized, she goes like berserk and like is a thing in some of the season 4 episodes where it's like, please don't cataclysm the senti-monster, it'll go crazy. When Adrien or Cat Noir or whatever we want to call this cat boy was cataclysmed in Miracular, he did not turn to dust. He was like, ow, it hurts, and then he jumped back into the battle. Very recklessly, may I add. And people were starting to think, maybe that's because he's a senti-monster. He didn't dissolve, he just went a little bit crazy. Now people are like, no, it's just because he's the holder of the Black Cat Miraculous. Also, if he's a senti-monster, how does he have a Miraculous? Blah, 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 blah. Introducing something in season 4 that made me start believing. Octogami. In Octogami, Hawkmoth, Hawk Daddy, Shadow Moth, whatever you want to call this bitch, created Senti-Nino, which is this guy, but a senti-monster. Are you following me? Yes. So it's a fake version of this guy. And Ladybug, we have seen that senti-monsters, if they're given their object, or if the person's like not actively controlling them, then they can kind of do things that they want on their own. And I think Ladybug even says, hey, if we give her this, she'll have free will. And Myra's like, just kidding, you can't. I created it. I can destroy it. Haha, bitch. But anyways, in Akutagami, there is a fake senti-monster version of Nina. And the plan is for him to get the Turtle Miraculous, help Ladybug win the fight. Ladybug will take the Turtle Miraculous back, and then Hawkmoth will be able to follow her as she transforms. Obviously, this doesn't happen because it's Miraculous Ladybug and nothing ever goes wrong. I mean, Miraculous Ladybugs will fix it anyway, right? It's so annoying. I'm glad for some of the season 4 interpersonal drama because it's been like 4 seasons of like no stakes. But anyways, so Senti-Nino is able to grab the Miraculous and transform into Carapace, right? So there's no reason that if Adrien Agreste was a Senti-Monster, he would not be able to be Cat Noir. But how does his dad not know? His dad didn't create the Senti-Monster. Gabriel Agreste did not create the Adrien Agreste Senti-Monster. What? How do you know that? Because this bitch is dead. And you know how this bitch died? Using this bitch. She was using the Peacock Miraculous to create a sun. And that's how she got sick and died. Otherwise, she was just a terrorist. And I feel like Master Fu would have called the superheroes out quicker if there was someone actually terrorizing Paris. And I don't think she was actively terrorizing Paris, because we don't know about any attacks, Akuma or Amok related, that happened before she died. And she very much died using the Peacock Miraculous. It's very much implied when Natalie uses it. Gabriel's like, no, I can't use someone else. I care about it too, either. So, yes, I'm saying that the reason someone Agreste died is because she was using the Peacock Miraculous to create a sun. Yeah. Also, Gabriel would be able to control the Senti-Monster with the ring if he's wearing the Peacock Miraculous, because Myra was able to control Master Fu's Senti-Monster, but he wouldn't be able to destroy it. Only the person who created the Amok can destroy it, so he couldn't destroy his son. He could control his son, which is why he like panicked when he like twisted. Oh my gosh, wait, I figured it out. In Mega Leech, Gabriel Agreste is trying to be this bitch from the Lorax. He's trying to sell bottled things of air. And Adrien's like, bitch, this is so stupid. So he protests the trees getting cut down. He's like, yeah, don't cut down the trees. I don't want to live in a dystopia. And his dad's like, how dare you disobey me, Adrien? And Adrien starts to protest it. He's just like, Adrien, go to his room. And it zooms in on the ring on his finger. And he puts his hand behind his back and starts twisting the ring. And it's like, he definitely just uses a mug to control his son. Also, everyone's like, Emmeline Agreste was a saint. Emmeline Agreste was a smelly bitch, and you know it. She was using the Peacock Miraculous before she died. For why? I don't trust her. And also, it was both of hers and Gabriel's decision not to let Adrien go to school. He was not allowed to go to school until after she died. He was like basically trapped for 15 years inside his own house. And they said it was too dangerous in the outside world. Well, of course this bitch is gonna say it. He's about to become a terrorist to try and bring this bitch back to life. But why did this bitch think it was too dangerous for this guy outside? Is it because she's fragile and she's afraid he might break? Because his entire lifeline is connected to a feather? I don't know. It's just a theory. A crack theory. Oh my gosh, I love this theory so much. I could talk about it for hours and hours. It's because she was using the Peacock Miraculous to create a son, which is also why he looks identical to Felix. Because her sister had a son and she was like, I want a son. I'll just create a clone of my sister's son. And you're like, Maddie. That makes no sense. That's ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous. And I thought the same thing too. I was like, okay, I see you, and I see the breadcrumbs there. I know that Senti-Monsters can use Miraculouses. I know that Senti-Monsters can't be cataclysmed in the normal sense. I know that Adrien is Cat Noir, but when he got cataclysmed, it wasn't in the normal sense, but that could also be because Miraculous powers weren't as strong. I see you, I hear you, and I heard these theories a million times, and I was like, still like, senti-adrien is stupid. That's it. Senti-adrien is stupid. And then it was Wishmaker. And I think Wishmaker was the reckoning for a lot of people. A lot of shit went down in that episode. Like, oh my god, that was, I think, one of the best episodes of this season so far. If Gabriel Agreste is a flashback episode, though, that'll be the best episode in the whole show if they do it right. I'm not lying. Anyways, so in What's Its Face, in Wishmaker, they have a career fair. Wow, and they're all like, what do we want to be when we grow up? Meredith's confused because she's like, oh my gosh, there are so many things I'm good at and so many things I want to be. Like, okay, bestie, not all of us can be a multi-talented queen. But Adrien's confused because all he's ever done is the things his parents wanted him to do. And he doesn't know what he wants to do outside of that context. Alec gets akumatized into Wishmaker, and he has people go and live their childhood dreams. And when Wishmaker is talking to Cat Noir, who is also Adrien, right? We see he's like, well, your thing won't work on me because I didn't know what I wanted to be. And he's like, well, don't you want to know what you want to be? And it's very tempting to Cat Noir, who allows himself to get hit, that stupid dumbass. And so he's just standing there. And he's like, when I was a kid, I wanted to be whatever my parents wanted me to be. Tell me that's not a senti-monster. Tell me that's not a senti-monster thing to say. But Maddie, doesn't Adrien have a lot of trauma because his parents are assholes? Correct. I don't know. I feel like traumatized children would have crazier dreams because they just have to fantasize as a coping mechanism and like to get out, you know? And I'll accept that Adrien had a traumatic childhood and that's why he doesn't believe it, but I believe in senti-adrien, okay? Okay? And look at this! He's mixed up their freaking eye colors. And I don't know what that means. Also, he's allergic to feathers. He's allergic to feathers. The writing on this show's not great, but all the freaking scenes are there. If he's a senti-monster, I am not going to be surprised. Honestly, I will laugh. I'm not going to be surprised. I'm not going to be disappointed. I will just laugh. It'll be funny. It'll be the biggest reveal. Adrien finds out that Marinette's Ladybug. No, that's not the reveal I want. I want it to be revealed that Adrien Agreste was fake the entire time. And you're like, no, he can't be fake, blah, blah, blah. He has love, he has feelings. Freaking Ladybug, they emphasize so many times that they can have feelings and wants and desires. And, oh, I feel like there should be this big quest where they try to get the ring back from the Agreste family so Adrien can have free will. The very last moment, Emily Agreste is just like, because Emily Agreste is coming back. She's going to be the season 5 villain. I'm calling it right now. Oh my god, it's going to be so good. And tell me what's the reason he's allergic to feathers if he's not a senti-monster? Like, the writing in this show, I know that's why he's allergic to feathers, okay? Like, I can't describe it. So, yes. That is why people think Adrien Agreste is a senti-monster. You can choose to believe it, you can choose not to, because it's kind of stupid. But I think it's fun. I think believing in these crack theories is fun. And also, there's so much evidence. Like, you can't sit me down with all this evidence and be like, okay, is Adrien Agreste not a senti-monster? Like, I'm gonna say he's a senti-monster. Like, I know the writing of the show. I'm fairly certain he's a senti-monster. Because, like, in Ladybug, they made it such a big point about senti-monsters that, like, someone's not a senti-monster. And if it's not Adrien, I don't know who it is. But, like, sense story-wise right now, and, like, because of how much stuff they said about senti-monsters in Ladybug, like, I have a gut feeling that someone's gonna be one. And if it's not Adrien, and if they don't build breadcrumbs to it being someone else, I'm gonna be disappointed about it.